President, we are here to brief you, President, on where things stand in the implementation of the AfCFTA. You will recall, Excellency President, that the last time that you and I met in your office, we were at very early stages of implementation. At that time, I think there were maybe 20 or 25 countries that ratified 2.5 years ago, 3 years ago when we met. As we speak today, there are 49 countries that have ratified the agreement, which is a very, very strong demonstration of our leaders' political will and commitment to make sure that this becomes a reality. In terms of implementation, Excellency President, there again we are making steady progress. There are 24 countries that are actively trading. So out of the 49, 24 countries are actively trading using the framework of the AfCFTA. And of course, Ghana is one of them. And Ghana was one of the pilot countries when we started trading 2 years ago. As we speak today, there are close to 5,000 certificates of origin that have been issued across the continent. It's modest. It's not where we would like the level of trade to be. However, we know the challenges that exist on our continent. And some of those relate to the cost of transport and logistics, infrastructure, that is the infrastructure deficit, and the lack of trade finance. And in this regard, we are working very, very closely with African Bank, with African Development Bank, Africa Finance Corporation, all of our development finance institutions that have the mandate to support trade. And they have been very, very supportive indeed. But these challenges, I believe, will remain with us for some time. We have been in Ghana now since 2020. So we established relatively quickly. We have a very strong system, a very strong presence. We are the largest presence of the African Union outside of Addis Ababa, here in Ghana. Largest presence. And we, because we made a commitment that we want Ghana to be the commercial diplomacy capital of our continent, and the political capital being Addis Ababa. I believe we're well on track to achieve that objective. Across the world and of course across the continent, everybody recognizes now that Ghana is the home of the AfCFTA. And so we're most grateful for the support that the government has provided, including, Excellency, your government since you have come into office. We are also, Excellency President, intending to build a permanent home, a permanent secretariat. We have been in discussions with the government of Korea, and they have signaled willingness to support building of a headquarters. The previous government allocated us land to build in La, I think. Yeah, the trade fair grounds. We've done some feasibility studies, and actually we were quite advanced with the previous Korean government. The former president was a good friend of the AfCFTA. They came to see us 3 years ago. So I was following very closely, leading up to December, his impeachment. So he had committed, Excellency President, that they would support us up to $250 million to build the secretariat. And then, of course, he was impeached. The Prime Minister came in as a caretaker president. He was also impeached. So now we are restarting that conversation with the new government, but the signals that we have received is that they are still willing to support. Yes, Excellency, and we will work with them and also with African Bank to make sure that we build a substantial headquarters, which will include conference facilities, a hotel, and so on, because we want the AfCFTA to have a very, very strong presence in Ghana.
Our government will have open doors to you and to assist however we can in order that we facilitate the work that you have to do. This is something we've fought for years, and I'm happy that it's come to fruition, and we hope that the pace will pick up in terms of signing on more products and increasing the volume of trade between our countries. I took over from Idris Deby as the chairman of the high-level trade committee, and at the time only 2 regions were ready to start. Actually, it was East Africa that was far advanced, far ahead of everybody, and then ECOWAS followed. And so in frustration, we had suggested that, well, if East Africa is ready and ECOWAS is ready, why don't we start the AfCFTA with the 2 sub-regions? Happily, eventually, the protocol was adopted by the whole continent, and the AfCFTA was born. There were 2 main things we were pushing for, both for free movement of persons across the continent and also for free exchange of goods, tariff-free. And so that happened. And now free movement too has been taking, almost countries are allowing visas on arrival and things for most of the African passports. So, so far so good. We are willing to support whatever it is. I'm sure the minister is keenly in touch with you. And if there are any problems, if you let us know, we would help to facilitate and resolve those issues. But I recognize that one of the main obstacles in fully implementing the continental free trade area is the lack of trade infrastructure between our countries in terms of railways, in terms of even roads, the quality of roads between our countries. And that's why I think that looking at the AU-NEPAD, Committee on Infrastructure will be important to see how, as sub-regions, we can improve the movement of goods between ourselves and between the sub-regions. In West Africa, our most iconic project will be the Abidjan-Lagos corridor. And if that is done, because indeed the volume of trade in that corridor is the highest. And so if we're able to put in the corridor and then eventually extend it all the way to Dakar, it will create, a corridor that allows us to exchange goods seamlessly. But one of the major facilitators will be the Pan-African Payments and Settlement System. I mean, we're all waiting for that is fully operational so that it will ease, the financial transactions between our countries instead of all the cumbersome letters of credit and, exchanging dollars as a medium and all that.